Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope fit and healthy. In the previous chapter of civics, which we did, that was Market Around Us, we explored the different types of markets that we see around us. Have you ever wondered, children, how these products reach to the market? In this chapter, which we are going to do today, we will explore the journey of clothes from farms to the market. So, children, we are going to start with chapter number 9 of civics, a shirt in the market.
This chapter tells us the story of a shirt. It begins with the production of cotton and ends with the sale of the shirt. We shall see that a chain of markets links the producer of cotton to the buyer of the shirt in the supermarket. Buying and selling takes place at every step in the chain. The journey of cotton clothes starts with a farmer cultivating cotton on their land and ends in the market. Does everyone benefit equally from this? Or do some people benefit more than others? So let us find out. Let us study about a cotton farmer in Kurnool. Swapna, a small farmer in Kurnool, Andhra Pradesh, grows cotton on her small piece of land. The bolls of cotton plant are ripe and some have already burst. So Swapna is busy picking cotton. The bolls which carry the cotton in them do not burst open at once, so it takes several days to harvest the cotton. Once the cotton is collected, instead of selling it at Kurnool Cotton Market, Swapna and her husband take the harvest to the local trader. At the beginning of the cropping season, Swapna had borrowed rupees 2500 from the trader at a very high rate of interest to buy seeds, fertilizers, pesticides for cultivation. At that time, the local trader made Swapna agree to another condition. He made her promise to sell all her cotton to him. Cultivation of cotton requires high levels of input, such as fertilizers and pesticides, and the farmers have to incur heavy expenses on account of these. Most often, the small farmers need to borrow money to meet these expenses. At the trader's yard, two of his men weigh the bags of cotton at a price of rupees 1500 per quintal. The cotton fetches rupees 6000. The trader deducts rupees 3000 for repayment of loan and interest and pays Swapna only rupees 3000. Though Sapna knows that cotton will sell for at least rupees 1800 per quintal, she doesn't argue further. The trader is a powerful man in the village, and the farmers have to depend on him for loans, not only for cultivation but also to meet other expenses such as illness, children's school fees, etc. Also, there are times in the year when there's no work and no income for the farmers. So, borrowing money is the only means of survival. Just like Swapna, there are thousands of farmers who toil day and night. However, they end up losing a big chunk of their income to local traders. Let us move on to the cloth market of Erode. Erode's bi-weekly cloth market in Tamil Nadu is one of the largest cloth markets in the world. A large variety of cloth is sold in this market. Cloth that is made by weavers in the villages around is also brought here for sale. Around the market are offices of cloth merchants who buy this cloth. Other traders from many South Indian towns also come and purchase cloth in this market. On market days, you would also find weavers bringing cloth. You would also find weavers bringing cloth that has been made on order from the merchant. These merchants supply cloth on order to garment manufacturers and exporters around the country. They purchase the yarn and give instructions to the weavers about the kind of cloth that is to be made. The merchant distributes work among the weavers based on the orders he has received for cloth. The weavers get the yarn from the merchant and supply him the cloth. For the weavers, this arrangement seemingly has two advantages. The weavers do not have to spend their money on purchase of yarn. Also, the problem of selling the finished cloth is taken care of. Weavers know from the outset what cloth they should make and how much of it is to be woven. However, this dependence on the merchants both for raw materials and markets means that the merchants have a lot of power. The weavers have no way of knowing who they are making the cloth for or at what price it will be sold. At the cloth market, the merchants sell the cloth to the garment factories. In this way, the market works more in favor of the arrangement between the merchant and the weavers is an example of putting out system, whereby the merchant supplies the raw material and receives the finished product. It is prevalent in the weaving industry in most regions of India. That's all for today. We'll continue the next topic in the next class. Thank you and have a nice day.